Good evening.
Hi, hello.
Let me see if we're getting this up here. Page though. What page are we on?
Page Memvav, middle of the page. Says Gufa. Says Ubiarnu.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we spoke about how it takes away 60 of the holy, and how it's you're supposed to by Moshe Rabbeinu about I was making most of nefesh. We did it right. We did a V'yarnu, no? Because the mention for
No, that's where I have it marked.
Okay, well, let's trust your mark. It's the measure of participating in all the anguish and afflictions of the person who's suffering. The also made ser b'chutz to be in anguish on all of which causes them anguish. And to feel as if these stabs are being stabbed in his flesh. When he sees somebody whose head hurts, so like it says about Kodesh Baruch Hu, Kolani Miroshi, Kolani Mi Zoi. I'm being afflicted by my head, being afflicted from my arm. Lo tsar. And all their anguish, she should have anguish. To the extent the person puts himself into the tsar of his friend, he's suing from that other friend, from that friend. There she's by, like we explained. So this is a new understanding. Somebody who comes in to visit a sick person, what he does not have in mind to join in his anguish. But just in order to fulfill the obligation, even do the mitzvah bikur cholim, so to speak, it's not good enough. Loki mitzvah zuklal. There's no such thing. You can't have more. You can't mitzvah bikur cholim and be yotze by going to visit the chol. The ain't again a mitzvah, since it falls in the rubric of no sibol. That's not together the mitzvah. Just to go and pay a social call. Chiyav abikolios no sibol. The requirement is to share the burden. The chush lakish b'tzara chola to sense and to feel the anguish of the sick person. B'chol might have share as much as possible. Often say make kill that way really does. He does make the sick person's sickness easier. We see how great the obligation is. Somebody who passes by and sees his friend suffering, to join in his suffering. Because there's two versions need, but Sarat Rabim Chatzina Chama. The anguish of the masses, in other words, if somebody else suffers with me, it's half a consolation. And the other language is Sarat Rabim Nechamat Tipshim. If somebody has somebody else is suffering, doesn't make me any better. If the fact that I can feel better if somebody else is suffering, it just means I'm a fool. But here he's saying that no, there is something to a shared sorrow, right? That he says, what's the advantage? The only way to diminish the suffering is by that participating in suffering. Vad Morazal, the Alta Bukelm, here Kamai, Samidazu, Mushrasha, the bunch of Klaiswa. The Dayas are showing because this was so much took root in the other generations of Klaiswa for everybody. There's a suggestion given that if there's a tree which prematurely sheds its fruit. Yikshar love chut shani, you put on a red string. Lo diav sarol rabim, to let people know that the tree is failing. When the people, the passers-by, see this red string, they'll ask for rachmanos. Maybe this way that the superstition of having a red band on the wrist is. People see it and they'll say, "Oh, you better daven for this guy." So we see they're all participating in the anguish of their friends. The Rosam Elon Machlia, when they saw a wormy tree, Elishis Bakshuls, and they weren't asking about this. Elishavina Matzma, just on their own. Shavadai is about Elon. Only the tree certainly has anguish. You kvar gameim shlim b'tzar kokakado, so that'll put them already such great tsar akides to the point that they're going to daven and arouse rachmi. So that's a large daven for somebody sincerely is a large participation in his anguish. The tefillah but intrinsic in tefillah is spilling out my conversation for God and saying my Torah. In other words, I must have a Torah, which is the impetus for my tefillah. From the other friend, from the other guy's side. So you can't bear it until he davens and asks for salvation. So it's not that, and there when I was saying that they would daven for each other's trees, it's talking about a simple passerby. Doesn't say that somebody who's considered Chofetz Chaim passes by, he's going to daven. Every time they can harry. Let's try to see how this will be for them. Even this red thread tied on the tree was sufficient for them. Already, they should be aroused and known to join in the anguish of their friend. To the point of davening for it. Magid lo misurav no fel v'no shake avak raglav umevakesh rachamim. A person can, can really exaggerate, right? A person can fall down and kiss the dust up by his feet and ask rachamim. The kotachana b'kerakim. And it's and the voice supplication which he raises can break over the heavens. Well, if you have the buffalo like you haven't even reached your own heart. Meaning that it's a lot of what we do today is superficial. It's for show. Doesn't mean anything. The people are not moved at all from this anguish, which should be able to rip stone hearts into shreds. The midas nosibo who he may kore atere the chayvas adam. Obviously in yeshivas it's not stressed enough to meet him nosibo and chavero. It's obviously where Yerucham felt. It's not just that, but obviously it's in which Yerucham felt, and he stresses it a lot in a lot of his places, not just here. Nosibo is a big thing by him, and because that's a meter which tends to get forgotten when you're too intellectual and too involved in learning. So that interpersonal relationship is something which the Mashgiach has to remind us of. There's nothing which is not worth giving up, foregoing for this midah. But they gave up their lives, and that's Tom lives of Moshe and Rishon. Only for this nesibon. We see how great and lofty this midah is by the person who is being nosei. But by the person who has the old, you see how much it can be effective. Shari Moshe b'shtatfo b'tzaram so Klal Yisrael. When Moshe joined in the anguish of Klal Yisrael, they removed from them the anger of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And the gzera which was intended for them was removed. V'davar melech l'shem kol chayav v'yunasim lo mishum nosei b'ol shalom rishon. His entire life, because the other rishon knows about. There should be sufficient arousal for a person. You know, the loftiness of the value, and the great significance. And this means to be no say all. I remember that. I don't know if the next piece he continues to speak about goes on something else. Just going through here. It looks like it's something else, not noticeable. But at the beginning of Parshas Bereishis, seven Bereishis, I don't remember where exactly. The Yerucham mentions that in Kelm, they used to auction off every year the right to clean the base medrash, and it was a special auction on Simchas Torah, and we used to go. I don't know, went for Daf Gemara, whether we went for Blot, but the right to sweep the base medrash. Because this was to sweep the base medrash is a manifestation of nosei bo chavero, that you're concerned with the well-being of your friends and the state of where they're learning. So again, nosei bo is a very big, of course, it should be. It's a very big emphasis by Rabbi Yerucham. Okay, very good.
Very good.
Have a
All
good
right.
night. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
no.
Take care.
Next,
Thank you.
1 second. Next Tuesday night, I have a graduation, so I might be back on time, but we'll have to play a bit by ear. One of my classes. Okay.
No problem. I'll be ready.
Okay, bye-bye.